Hey folks, time once again to do some retro CSS battles. These are daily targets from the past, May 19th, May 20th, and May 21st of 2024. Let's get right to it. Pretty sure what I did the last time I did this was all gradients, linear, like crossing everything out. Today, I really am feeling like what it is a clip pathed things, and it's going to be two of them, two paragraph tags with a clip path that turns it into a triangle, which is a polygon. That starts at 50% 0. That's the top center, and then 100%, 100%, and then 0, 100%. That's how we get that. And the bottom one we want to turn upside down, so that's P plus P. That's the second paragraph, and we're going to do a scale of -1. We could do 1, -1, but -1 is fine. It's actually flipping it upside down and the opposite way. There's two things happening there, but that's not doing it. And I guess you can see that if I do 0.5, you can see that that's doing that in a slightly different way. All right, so let's do 1. Yeah, do -1. All right, so what values do we need to put in these elements to put them in the right place? 3, 4, 1, 2, and then the height is what, 99? 98 maybe? Alright, and then the margins on the second one are going to be different. I'm going to just do margin top 10, 0, -10, -20, 22. Alright, now 7, 8, 9, 91, 92. Not quite. How about 41? And then 97 is the height. 98, 99, 99 is the height. Okay, and then on the sides, 93. So again, I'm just trying to get, well, not just, I'm adjusting these values to try and align this perfectly. Feels a little jumpy, potentially. Any kind of line that you see is a potential problem. All right, so then what I've got, so it would be great, which you can't do, is to have a border that would follow the clip path. I don't know of a way to do that. So I need to make a triangle inside in the body. Since I've chosen the clip path to create these triangular shapes, we'll see whether this is a good plan. And I'm going to change this to --m of 91, 93, and then turn this into a bar while I'm thinking. And I may yet end up going back and doing this in the way that I did it before. Yeah, okay, so, and is the height really 99? I think it is. Not super crazy about that. What happens if I do a height here of 98? Am I in better shape? 97, 96, ugh. I'm not going to do that. All right, so let's turn this background into, let's create a thing in the middle, which is really just, what is it? It's because we're flipping it upside down, so we need to do the background. I'm going to do it on both elements to begin with. So conic gradient, which is from 101. Well, I'm going to do 135. I don't think that's a 45-degree angle. It could be. 90, 25%. and then the dark. That might work. All right, and then we're going to do it at 50%. 0. So that kind of aligns. Not really. That's the idea, though. So what am I? Oh, I see. Because, okay, and so I need a height on this. So it's at 0, 0, 100% wide, and 40 pixels tall, 50, 60, 70, 80. That's pretty good. And then we could create a variable for this. Var of C, or a default of the solid color, and then if I add C, then I get the pink, and then I got it. Is that right? Not quite aligned. Not really loving that. That's a 99.9%, and that's what it looked like too. 31, 30, 29, 28. Not super crazy about this. All right, I think I'm on the right track, but these numbers need to be adjusted, obviously. Okay. So I need to adjust that so that it goes, will be as taller. No, less tall, 30. That's better. All right, and then I'm gonna play with these margins a little bit, because this line is a bummer. Like, there's a, see that in the diff, you can see that there are pixels that are wrong, and that is no good at all. So let's see if we can, what we can do to mitigate that. So right now we have margins of -21 and 93. No, so 90, minus 91, 90, minus 21 on the top, 93 on both sides, and then -21 on the bottom. So we're going to make those explicit. So -21, 93, and then we should have identical. So let's adjust those. We don't need this to be -21. It can just be 0. This number we're going to adjust, 92, 94, 95. How about 95 and 95? What happens if we do that? 96 and 96. What happens if we do that? So that's far worse. Again, so 93 is where we started. So rather than go big, let's instead do, and this is where maybe we do want to scale. So that's not making a change, and that's kind of interesting. So I'm scaling that triangle in these little subtle ways, and this is probably a pretty bad idea. But as I experiment with how do I make this better in alignment, that's one of the things that I'm thinking about. The other thing I could do, what else can I do? What else can I do? Oh, so the height could be wrong. I'll try 100 there. How about 98? 98 might be better. And then make this second number 92. 93, 94. Oh, that's not bad. That's better. Okay, so let's make this a more normal 80, 79, 78. There we go. And then adjust this at number 90, 30, 29, 28. Let's submit that. So yeah, lot of little tweaks here to get these numbers right. I'm hoping this is 100%. It is not. Okay. Definitely starting to feel like I have taken the wrong approach. And if that's so, what do I need to do to fix it? How about, well, okay, we're just gonna keep trying. 50 pixels, 60, 70. I'm changing the center of this. 8, 9, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5. These are getting worse. How about 98.9? That's a little better. Slightly better. So we're just going to keep trying. We just keep trying, keep running at the wall, seeing if we get, that's 100% match. So kind of goofy changes to get to 100% match. I was very, very close to, okay, this clip path and the conic gradient are not going to work, but they worked. Is it great code? Is it code I'm particularly proud of? Not really. It works. I wish there was a, I wish that I liked it more, but I can't argue that it produces the visual result that I was hoping for. Let's see. So variabilizing a few things, I think that I can. So I'm going to resubmit and see if this still results in a 100% match, and then I can minify happily. No, I cannot. Okay. So that's interesting. That's actually really interesting to me. I'm resubmitting now. That's 100% match. Okay. So the scale actually mattered there. So flopping it on its axis, because there's just enough of a pixel difference for it to be different for the renderer in Chrome on the back end. All right, and then final answer. All right, that is how we do May 19th, 2024. There are undoubtedly better solutions. That's fine. Okay. And then this guy, this is a fun one. I'm gonna do, I think this is all on the body. So I'm gonna do the nested template, but I don't think I need anything there. I'm gonna do, what I want to see is what I can do if I can create a radial gradient to create that circle. It looks like a giant circle, right? Like that's what it looks like to me. So at 50%, and the center is like right here, maybe. And that color, and 200 pixels, and then transparent. And then I'm going to set in the background this blue color. So that's what you get with that. How about a circle? Is that, hey, is that a match? That might be a match. Is it 201? Is it 199.5? 200. Okay. And then a linear gradient. Coming in from the side, 90 degrees. Transparent. Oh, actually, no. We don't want that. We want it to be that. And then blue. And we do need a comma. All right, so I'm going to add a no repeat to this, which doesn't mean anything right now, but I want to make sure that I got the right so width. So it's at 0, and then the width is what, 100 pixels. If I do that and then remove that, okay, so I don't have a background background color. So this is the gradient. Because it's from the light to the dark will be the end of that. So right now it's 100 pixels wide. 2, 4, 2, 3, 3, 5, 3, 6. Is that where it is? So that means that's probably, well, let's try a percentage just for fun. And then 0 makes that a legit color stop. 1. All right, let's submit that. That's probably not 100%. If it is, then we're very lucky. I don't think so. 92.7%. Not good. Let's do 40 pixels. And yeah, let's submit that. Oh, I might have had white behind. So this is one of those ones where the light color, 92.7%. That is a surprising outcome. I don't understand why that value is so low. That is a remarkably poor showing. Oh, how about? Oh, that's the problem. This whole block was, yeah, so that's the problem, I think. That's 100% match. So yeah, so here's what the problem was. This no repeat, and it's very hard to see in the diff, but this is pure white, the default background, but I couldn't see it because, well, I mean, I can see it now. And if I change this color, you can see what it's doing. I created the horizontal background to repeat, and then I made it not repeat because I was using that as a tool. So it's the little bits that'll get you. All right, let's unit replace and minify, and that is a nice solution, an elegant solution, and that's a great big circle. What's a better score than I've gotten in the past, and I'm happy with that always. All right, next. Ooh, I think this is definitely a nested template today. Really feeling that. All right, what do we got? So the HTML element has that. I'm gonna put this not quite white background on the body, which is our star, and then adjust these margins. 3, 4, 142, 65, 66, 67, and then I think what this is, so I'm going to do conic gradient because I like a conic gradient. Yes. I could also maybe do something like a clip path. We're going to do transparent, 75% around, and then covering, because I know that we're going to need stripes underneath it, 0. So then we're going to do it at. So there's the thing that we're doing. 3, 4, 5, 6, 5, 50, 60. Top corner. .200 is the height right now. That's probably too tall. But is that getting it? I think I might be doing it. A little hard to see. How about 200? There we go. $210. So I think, what have I got wrong here? I got something wrong. Oh, because that should be 100, 10, 20, 30, 40. So you can see that how that change is showing itself. So each conic gradient is this subset. All right, so let's get those numbers right. All right, now behind that, instead of this color, red shows you, here's the background color. Now I need a linear gradient. Linear gradient. And, you know, for giggles, let's do repeating. So this is one of the gradients that people don't, well, I don't think about very often, but it is because, you know, you get this whole extra word repeating, but it's fine. So right now we've got one color stop and it's just repeating, and it just, you can't see that because it's not meaningful. If I add a second color, then it will repeat. Now, right now the repeating linear gradient doesn't mean anything because there are no color stops associated with this one. So for this one, I'm going to do 10 pixels, 20 pixels, and then you can see that it's repeating, which is pretty nice, right? Because really that's this. But when you add repeating, it says, well, okay, I'll keep doing that however you want. And all of the gradients can be repeated, including conic, and I believe radial as well. That's not one that I have played with very much. Actually, don't quote me on that. Repeating radial gradient might not be a thing. No, but check. Hey, if you go check, leave a comment. All right. So let's. Is that 20 and then 20 and then 30? And is that correct? That looks correct. And that's 100% match. Now, so I'm going to comment this out, and that's, and so what is it if I do it the other way? Linear gradient, and we know what the color stops are. It's the white color, 20 pixels, and then it's transparent. And then we need to make sure that it is grommeted to the top, in this case, and that it's 100% wide, and that it is 30 pixels tall, and you get the same result, which is slightly shorter code, just a little, I believe, right? So let's line those up. For giggles, we will line those up. Right. So yeah, these do the same thing, and this is just a little bit more code. Now, if I change the units, it'll shrink a little bit more. Additionally, this may be one where I don't need 2 indicators of background position. Nope, I do. Yeah, I need that. And I might not need it to be 100% wide. I can just do a minimal unit, 1%, because horizontally it's repeating, and that's fine, and that's actually shorter code. So yeah, we'll go. So even though I showed you off the repeating linear gradient, we don't need it. Let's go away. And that's a solution. Let's resubmit and make sure, because I have made seemingly trivial changes before and then been burnt when I went to minify and resubmit, and that's no good. Minify, unit replace, and that is another way to do the linear gradient behind, and that's a better score than I've gotten in the past, and I always like that. All right, yeah, a super fun set of puzzles. Definitely lessons on this one, and I think that in terms of predictability, you can't go wrong with very precise linear gradients. The conic gradient will sometimes give you a jaggy edge in some browsers when you have a hard edge against it, whereas linear gradients I haven't seen do that. But I'm still a big fan of the old conic gradient. And then this guy, just a super fun, could be a very painful one. I know that there are some puzzles, some of the daily targets have circles that are just odd enough that I have not been able to solve them to 100% because something about that curve, something about the anti-aliasing, right, which is literally the pixels along that edge, just not quite right, or in terms of how I'm able to solve it. So, all right, and then finally this guy, which I really enjoy. I hope you enjoyed this set. I certainly did this morning. It's a great way to start the day for me. And go make a web page. HTML and CSS are great. They are fun. They are easy to learn and take a lifetime to master, I would say. I'm well on my way. We'll see if I get there. And that's it. Have a great day. Bye-bye.